watching this on Saturday, that you're just chilling out at home and you've got your knitting or your crochet to hand. I've got my tea, which is the main thing. I'm going to put it down for a moment because it's a bit hot. Yeah, so I'm hoping that I can just do these check-ins maybe once a week at the weekend during our lockdown number 3 or wherever we're at in Ireland. I did ask a couple of people, or I asked everybody if you had a question, that I would address it and tackle it and show you some things from around the shop just in the comfort of your own home. So what I might do, I'll just wave, say hello to everybody first. Hello. Hopefully the light is going to behave. It took me a little while to get everything set up, and then I had to move it all because the sun was shining directly on it. Yeah, I'm going to just start addressing some of the questions that people sent in to us. You guys are very lucky. I put on lip gloss for you for the first time in forever. Okay, hello everybody who's joining. Okay, so we had a couple of things that people wanted to see from around the shop. One person asked us, I should have gotten the names, I'm sorry, what pattern suggestions we have for Townhouse Yarns Ulla number 2. I will settle into this. It's a little while since I've done lives. So I will start with that. I gathered a few bits and pieces. Actually, we got quite a lot of ideas for Ulla number 2 around the shop. So where did I put it? Where did I put them? Okay. So the beauty of Ulla number 2 is that it's a lovely woolly wool fingering weight 4-ply and absolutely brilliant and perfect for colour work. So I'm going to show you some colour work suggestions. This is actually knit in Studio Donegal Darney. It is a sample of a pattern called Ziggy Played with Yarn, which is by Emer Early, who's Plays with Fibre here on Instagram. And it is just the softest and amazing and most beautiful thing. I'll bring this down, see that stops the light jumping around. So it is one of those tubular knit cowls, so you're casting on and you're working on circular needles. A really easy charted colour work design. Hi, hello, there you are. I'm so glad you're on, because that's the thing, is like I didn't give a time for the live because I wasn't quite sure when I was going to be able to get on. But I will make this a playback afterwards so people can see it. So anyway, so number 1 suggestion for Ulla number 2. Actually, do you want to tell me how many skeins you have and whether you were thinking about a garment or an accessory? I'll try and see if I can catch that, but I'll show the next one anyway. So you play with the yarn there. Garment wise, and this is in Ulla number 2. Hello from Dublin. Hello, very nice to see you. This is a stunning sample of an all-over stranded colourwork jumper by Albina McLaughlin, who is LB Hand Knits. You can pop on over to her feed and have a look. The original colours that this was done in was Cloak and Bad Girl Riri. Cloak and Bad Girl Riri, I think. And this one is Ochre and Mist, I think, or Smoke and Mirrors. Will tell us. No. So the third side was made. This lovely Mary Lynch made this for us. Fantastic. So that's a nice sample there. Probably accessories, 5 colours, different schemes. Okay, so you could, on the tea room theme, there's the tea room socks as well. And although Ulla number 2 does not have any nylon in it, I think you could make a pair of socks like these just for the sort of special cozy around the house sort of slipper socks. So that's an option. This is one of my favourite samples, which is a lovely long scarf. Throw it around me. With this beautiful Celtic motif on it. I hope you can see that. And it is another one by Emer Early, and it's called Cranra. Thank you. Somebody says they like the sweater. I'm going to talk about the sweater in a minute, and there's a reason why I'm wearing it. It's another question that we had. So this is fabulous. This is knit in the round as well, and then steeked to create these beautiful fringes. Love it. And it is in the inspiration for our 100% Irish linen project bags that we have from 29 Bride Street. So check those out if you're in the market for a project bag. So that's Cranra. And then you did say accessory, so I won't go into the garments, or I'll just show this one. So this is the JC cardigan by Isabel Kramer, and that was knit in Studio Donegal Darney as well, but would be definitely suitable for Ulla number 2. So it's just got these lovely detailing around the yoke, and everything else is very straightforward after that. Super straightforward. Little tiny detail on the edge here. Love the sweater and the one in the background. Okay, I have a few of these to see these. Gonna talk about these in a little while. Okay, so hopefully that's got some inspiration. I'm trying to see if I've got anything else accessory wise. Definitely once you get onto Emer's patterns, there's a couple of options that she's done accessory wise that you should be able to have a lot to choose from, I think. Okay, so is that okay, Kaza Dub? Did that answer your question, or do you want to see anything else? Perfect, great. Happy to help. Okay, so our next question was somebody who was looking for a sweater weather, yes. But we're going to start with the beginner options, okay? So someone said they were ready to move on and wanted to maybe do their first top-down sweater. So, hence, this is why I'm wearing Dakite today. So Dakite is knit in Studio Donegal, Soft Donegal, but we have kits on the website for it in Soft Donegal and in Carol Feller's Nua worsted. I'll come back to that Rios question. Yes is the answer, but it's been delayed with all of the Brexit and all of the everything, so it's ordered and it's on the way, but it's going to be a little while and we'll get it up as soon as we can. So Dakite, this is the khaki olive green colour in, I'll show you, we got loads of lovely Irish stuff, there you go. So loads of Donegal options. And on the website right now, you can, if it's your first ever top-down knit, you have the option to grab a kit for this with just the pattern, or with a video, a full guided course, basically, using from Carol over the Teachable platform, where it's all of the different techniques are broken down into modules, and you get the kind of step-by-step process with it. So if you're interested in that, that's an option. Option number 2 for our person who's a beginner or going to start making their top-down knit for the first time is pop on over to the blog on our website. If you scroll down on the homepage, you'll see like news and inspiration, and just from back in December we had a blog post about the Strathcona sweater, which was knit in a super chunky, the Rosarios Millennium yarn. So if you want to go super chunky, you could go with that. Again, that's on the way. It's coming hopefully this week, maybe next week, or this week coming. And then our other option, probably been covered over now by something, yeah. For anybody who's looking to get to start into their first top-down raglans, we have more stock now of the Pom Pom Publishing's Ready Set Raglan. So they've got basically a whole recipe and loads of different sweater options and different colours and combinations there. But it's a full guide, and it's kind of intended as the follow-on from Knit How. So completely beginner-friendly or intermediate knitter-friendly for your next steps. More spinning fibre in soon. At the moment, it depends if you're looking for multicoloured or solid colours. If you wanted to check out the La La La, that is suitable for use as spinning fibre. I think we've got some on order from Malabrigo, the Nube, and yeah, I am looking for options there because we would have gone for UK suppliers for our spinning fibre, and that's all a big mess at the moment, I'm afraid. Leave it with us. Thanks for anything like that people have got requests for, something that we're missing. The more you let us know, the kind of further up on my to-do list it becomes. So we'll definitely try and get in what people are looking for. Totally enjoying. You're on your way to Guatemala City. Oh my God, I'm going to travel virtually with the people that are joining from Guatemala, and wow, Chile. I'm just going to scroll back in case I've missed anybody. No, definitely sweater weather. Yes, Evan. Okay. Right, so one of the other, hang on, sip of tea. Oops. Okay. I'm rushing a bit. I don't need to rush. We can hang out for a bit, right? Okay. So this might be a group I'm going to throw it out to you, is what I'm trying to say. We had one question about looking for tips for first brioche projects. So it is on this person's to-do list for 2021 to learn brioche, the wonderful world of, and where would you get started? So I think it depends on how much of an adventurous knitter you've been before now, or how far you've gotten in other techniques, how comfortable you are with learning new things. If it's a case of you've only been doing, you haven't made a sweater yet, you've been doing very basic stuff, then I would say to start with a simple 2-color or even a single color brioche scarf or cowl and get used to that, and then introduce the second color. Recommendations in terms of colors actually were asked about as well. And I really like the effect of getting something that's like a self-striping or one of those color melting yarns and using that with a solid, because that just looks really cool in scarves and cowls. If you're a little bit more adventurous or a little bit more experienced, then I would say you could do something like Andrea Mowry's Ramble shawl or wrap. That was my first like larger 2-color brioche project, and it's knit in a DK yarn, DK sport weight, so you can kind of it's not going to take too long either. And then after that, the world's your oyster. But color wise, definitely one that's like variegated, in a light color with a darker solid or semi-solid, like where you can really distinguish your colors against each other. I think that's important to kind of see and how brioche takes shape and how it's happening on your needles. So nothing that's too close to each other or anything like that. Anybody else? So answer in the comments. Actually, Sarah, if you're watching all of this, could you do a screen record? Because like what bothers me is when we put this out again on the Instagram grid, is we can't see people's comments. But just in case Sarah can't do that, I'm going to maybe call them back out then. If anybody else has tips for brioche, then I'll call them out. Okay. So Kazadub said, I did Andrea Mowry Untangled. It's brioche and Aran weights, even better, and a blanket size shawl, which, yes, that's what we're looking for right now, is just something to wrap ourselves up in and get cozy. Hi Deirdre, thanks Sarah, thank you. We miss you too. We miss having people pop in. We had this little window obviously before Christmas where we got to see a few of you, but yeah, it's been a while now. Okay, so any other brioche tips I will come back to. Oh yeah, sorry, color melty yarn like this one, which is would be a good option, and that's kind of, it's a sport weight as well, so it's a nice something that you'll get progress out nice and quickly. So this is one of the new yarns that we had in before Christmas, which is Kremke Backwards in the Mood. And just so that you can see how it comes up, because it's hard to picture in the skein. Ta-da! This one. I'll try. Will I try and bring it forward? See if you can get a bit closer to it. But yeah, this is Jackie's new sweater. And she used the melancholy color here in the yoke. Okay, so this is where I'm talking about the color melting thing happening as you go through. This is just one skein that was used in the yoke of that sweater. And you can see it goes from a blue and pink blend through to the navy, back down into the pink and out into a kind of paler blue. And I had the little end ball. And that's what was left over from the one skein. Okay, so that's a really nice option for brioche. Obviously a beautiful option for color work yoked sweaters. Jackie knit this, it's the Jingle sweater by Isabel Kramer. But which is initially or originally intended to be knit in a fingering weight yarn. So Mum kind of tried it on as she went along and chose a smaller size and did all of that sort of stuff, which can be done. But I would recommend, if you're not experienced in making those sorts of changes, just to find sport weight colorwork yoke sweater, which there are oodles and oodles of out there on Ravelry. So, but one skein gives you that wonderful effect right there. So there was a brioche link there, and then we went into that. Let me see. Okay, cool. So thanks again for joining me. It's nice to be able to have a little bit of interaction. I know it's not quite Zoom, but it is cool to be able to answer your questions. So we did the beginner jumpers. I have notes. I need notes. All in number 2, brioche. And I don't think Anne is here, but Anne was asking about options for the Magnolia chunky cardigan to mix with some Camarose. So if you're not, hang on. If you don't know what the Magnolia chunky cardigan is, here's our version. I'll bring it a bit closer. Maybe a bit further back. Okay, so it's an absolutely gorgeous design. I think this ends up being a little bit more like a jacket rather than a cardigan. We get in the other opal. Yeah, we're going to get some more of the last one because I think that went really quickly. And yes is the answer. So when there's some new ranges coming through, we will get those. Osterman step. Possibly not the Osterman, but more opal ranges, definitely. Okay, so Magnolia chunky cardigan. I was wearing this, Jackie knitted as a sample for Barcelona Knits back in 2019, I think. And it was lovely because like Barcelona in November was basically spring-like weather, so it was a really nice layer to throw on, a bit like Dacite as well. Like it could be a jacket in spring or autumn, as long as it's not lashing rain. And Anne was asking about options because it is knit with a kind of a heavy double knit yarn and one single strand of a kid silk mohair blend. And Jackie decided to go more and put in 2 strands of a kid silk mohair. So this one is extra fluffy. It is all hand-dyed yarn, so that does make it a little bit more spendy to make. So I had a plan, which was to come up with another option for that from what we have in stock at the moment. So I went over to the Camarose, hold on, because Anne mentioned that she had some Camarose in her question. And, whoops, okay. Name of the cardi I'm wearing, it's lovely, thank you. It's Dacite, so it's Dacite, and it's a pattern by Carol Feller. And we were recommending it as a really good first top-down raglan knit, first one where you're knitting it all in one go. No Malabrigo Rasta that's vegan. I'm afraid I'll keep an eye out as well for that. So thanks for letting me know. But it's harder to get like super chunky, natural fiber like cotton. Yeah, that's tough going. A challenge. I'll definitely keep an eye out for you there. I'm not gonna hikey wiki. Okay, so Magnolia chunky is supposed to be knit with a double knit and 1 strand of kid silk mohair, but we know that 2 strands of something fluffy works really nice as well. So there's Camarose Heverdag sold, which actually means like winter wool. Okay, so it's an organic wool, and it's a sport weight. But I believe, and I strongly believe, that we could make it with 1 strand of this and 2 strands of the Camarose Midnight Sol, which is baby alpaca, tencel, and merino. So not a mohair, which I know for Anne is important. Sorry, Anne's a regular and a teacher here as well, because mohair, just even this super soft kid silk mohair, just doesn't agree with her. So I was coming up with some options here of some combinations, and what I want to do is, as soon as we get our Camarose delivery, which is on the way through Europe and trying to make its way to us at the moment, I will put up some kits for this, but I will show you. So those colours, absolutely gorgeous. It would be very classy in that. I just need to throw them over my shoulder, I think. Those colours, this blend here. Good morning from the USA. We're having lots of people joining us from all over. We're good morning to the USA. Here's me joining you. These ones here, super soft and lovely. Just throw them on the needle kits. Okay, bear with me. These ones. That is a spring jacket, if ever I saw one. Fabulous. And again, we're going back to sort of classy neutrals on those guys. And again, spring. Okay, so I'm going to swatch it, and I think it can be done. And I also think that, the first 3 sizes for the Magnolia Chunky Cardigan we're going to end up at about €67. Even that's with 2 strands of this and 1 strand of this. And then it was 90 something for the next sizes, and it did get up to about 105 over that. So I know this is a very popular design, and I want to give us some nice options for that. So let me see. Somebody was asking about, would that work for Love Note or Ranunculus? Love Note, they're both a bit finer. So definitely this yarn. Absolutely, if you were going to hold it together with a 4-ply, then you would get the perfect weight for Love Note. That's no bother at all. Ranunculus, yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of similar, yeah. It wouldn't be kind of, there's lacier versions of Ranunculus, so it'd be slightly less lacy, but then that's not going to do it any harm. So I like that. So that's Cama Rose Midnight Sol, and a really good option. We've got a sparkly version of it too, which is nice. Yeah, we got it in. Somebody else saying, love the idea of substituting baby alpaca for the kid mohair. And we were getting that feedback. And this is what I'm saying. Keep telling us what you need. Because then we went and sourced something that was that alternative for the people who were sensitive to mohair and didn't want it. So it is good. Seaming a jumper. Lost your tapestry needle again. Happens all the time to me. Happens all the time. Rico Creative Smile. We haven't stocked that, I'm afraid. I will look into what that is. Gorgeous cozy colors. Hello to Knitbolo in Massachusetts. Hi. So they're good options. As I said, I will swatch it, but I'm very confident that it would work. And we will get kits for the Magnolia Chunky Cardigan in Cama Rose up on the website as soon as the Cama Rose delivery arrives, basically. Okay. What else did I have? Oh yeah, I had the prices here. So it was $63.50 for the first 3 sizes. $90.15 for the next 2, and then $106.60 for the other one. So just in case you're of interest. If you did want to use the original Drury, we've got enough in Cirque, Embers, Lock, Mustard Seeds, Oasis, Booker, Trench, and Vault. Message me if you want those ones. They're listed. Okay, what else did we have? Anybody else got questions? I think I covered them. The other things. Oh yeah, and then sorry, somebody else. Again, I should have taken note of their names. Wanted to just see some more of our sweaters and some more inspiration. Oh, Anna, I think Anna or Jeanette, and then somebody else did as well. So, Jingle or a version of Jingle or something else using your colourwork yoke stuff, definitely Camera or Magnolia Junkie. Crash bang. If you're thinking about spring, if you're being very smart and planning ahead for wearing things down the line, because that's when it's going to get done, right? But look, seasons keep coming around. We have pearl strings, a lovely merino and cotton blend yarn, which is called Belmonte. And this is Pearl Strings by Heidi Kierenmeyer. And it's just a lovely, again, sort of when things warm up a bit, nice kind of mid-season layer thing. Sorry. Just wanted to show you some of the colors that comes in. So it is Rosarius for Belmonte, and it's a 50-50 merino and cotton, and they all have this lovely marled finish because the cotton and the merino takes up the color differently. And so it knits up really nice. It's super soft actually as well. It's been really, really popular. Are we recording this? Yes. So what happens is when this is over, I share it back to our grid on Instagram, basically. So you're able to click through to it and see and scan back and find the bits that you're interested in. More roving for spinning, yes. So that's the second request for that. 100% we will. And it's just a matter of trying to find some options at the moment that will ship, because an awful lot of those places we would have gotten it from are the UK, and everything's really just chaotic at the moment. Nobody knows what the rules are. A lot of places, like, we've had to suspend shipping to the UK for the moment, and vice versa. The UK have had to suspend, or an awful lot of people in the UK have suspended shipping to Europe at the moment. So we will get that sorted. It's just going to be a bit of time. Looking for 4mm, 100 centimetre length circular bamboo needles. Did we have those? So on the circular wooden needle front, we do the interchangeable Knit Pro ones. So it's like a 4mm symphony wood tip. It's birchwood with their lovely laminated finish. And then you could get the tip and match it with the 100cm cable. I don't think we'd had fixed bamboo circulars. I could be wrong. We could have had them in for a specific reason, but if you want to pop onto the website, definitely should be able to get under the interchangeable circular needle section a 4mm symphony tip and a cable for 100cm, and you just screw them together, and that makes that. Considering a few people mentioned Love Note sweaters, you also have the springy layer version as well, where Jenny has done it with basically short sleeves, which then meant that she could get, trying to think about, did she get it out of one skein of Abbey or something, though less obviously yarn. So that's an option of Love Note if you want. They look gorgeous, just thrown over a little dress. And off topic, how are we finding the mail and shipping situation? Okay, within Ireland, much better, much better. Okay, things are generally, the vast majority of stuff is getting to people within like 2 days now, which is great. The overseas is more complicated because basically there's not enough passenger flights going out, and usually the mail and the packages go on the passenger flights, so everything's just kind of backed up and waiting its turn to get onto a plane to get out of Ireland, I'm afraid. So not really anything that we can do about that, only to reassure people that their stuff is safe, like it's tracked, it's in the system, and just because it hasn't had a scan in a week or so, it just means it's waiting. So it's been a challenge, definitely. We had some stuff, that people have been worried about, and it started to arrive, so it's great, but definitely difficult, unfortunately. So that's why we've added DHL options to our shipping for overseas. Definitely that's super reliable, no bother with that, but obviously a good bit more expensive, unfortunately. It's just the reality. So glad to see the store. I've heard they kink. Okay. So Knit Pro needle. No, they're a nylon based cable. So I mean, it depends on how they're stored. You will get kinks if they're wrapped up quite tightly, or if they get a bend in the storage and stuff. There are other types of needles, like the Chowgu needles, where the cable has a stainless steel reinforcement. I'm trying to think about whether I'm right in this, but it's steel or something in the cable, and they won't kink. They just won't, because they don't go that way. But we don't have bamboo tips in those, so you can have a look at the Chowgus for the stainless steel tips. People swear by them, they absolutely love them, but we haven't gotten the wooden options in those. Does the Sherborne Sparkle Sock do a pair of socks? It does, yeah. Some people like to get a mini skein of a solid colour to do the toes and the heel, so you can kind of keep the stripes consistent through the, if you want to get like really matching socks. Let me just get a skein just to show people. Hold on. I'm back. This is Sherborne Sparkle Sock, which self-striping sock yarn. So much admiration for Sharon and her husband at Dragon Hill Studio, who have the patience and the time and the persistence to create a consistent self-striping sock yarn. There's a lot of work that goes into that. So sometimes, yeah, as I was saying, if you just make sure that you're starting at the very beginning of a colour, working all the way through, and you can get like a mini skein of a solid colour just to do your toe and your heel. If you're doing a short row heel or something like that, it can be really satisfyingly consistent. So it's lovely, but they will definitely do a pair of socks. No bother at all, because you have got 400 meters in there. On the subject of mini skeins of sock yarn, of more things that are on the way, is Katia are doing little 25-gram balls of sock yarn now in loads and loads of colours. So I've gone totally pick and mix on everything the Kremke cobweb lace, the Katia mini skeins of sock yarn. So they're coming, and you'd be able to mix those in. There'll definitely be a colour there that would work with whichever one you have your eye on or you have there. Sure won't sparkle. They're fab, aren't they? What yarn did you say the pink short sleeve top is? Okay, this one here. Cardigan Red. So this is knit in Townhouse Yarns, Fade Street 4-ply and Abbey lace. So it's the two strands held together. I don't think I have another. We have so many love notes between us basically in that combination, but I think everybody's taking them home to wear. So in the pattern, it's designed to be a long sleeve top, but Jenny did hers just short sleeved, and it is Townhouse Yarns, Fade Street 4-ply and Abbey lace. I'm not sure that I have the colours exactly in stock, but we've good few options there anyways, but maybe not those exact colours. And then, let's see, I missed the name and the yarn of the yellow scarf with the Celtic motif. Of course I can repeat. I'm loving the interaction. I'm going to do more weekend lives. Everybody's more chatty. Okay, this guy here. So the name of the yarn and the scarf. Okay, so the scarf is called the Cranra Scarf, and it is knit in Townhouse Yarns Ulla number 2 by Emer Early Plays with Fibres. Plays with fibre, yeah. And the colours that were used is mustard seeds and smelt. So it's one skein of each. And what you do is it is knit in the round, one great big round, like cast on and then worked down. So you're doing huge big rows and then it's cut and steeked to create the tassels, which is fabulous. Do you know what size that one is? The love note, I think it might be the second or third size maybe. I can ask Jenny. Has anyone made it DK without lace? Yes, loads of people. There's plenty of options on that. Yeah, you can definitely just, if you have a single strand of a DK that you love, then it would work. Like I think if you get onto Ravelry and have a look at Love Note, if you're okay with logging into Ravelry at the moment, there's tons and tons of options. There's people who've held 3 strands of stuff together, and there's people who've knitted on even probably thicker yarn, so it's not quite so open around the yoke as well. So plenty of options. One of those very flexible patterns, definitely, that you can kind of throw anything at it. Just make sure obviously to swatch ahead of time. I know, swatching, that has to be done. Thank you, Kelly Casey. Thanks for joining us. Okay, what else? Oh, I did. Okay, oh yeah, I have so much to show you. Oh my gosh, time. Okay, we'll be okay. Do you want to show your cardi unbuttoned? I will. Okay, so and just in case you're looking at it on the website as well, so the kits for this, the Dakite can actually sit open in a lovely kind of waterfall shape, and one of the photos of the pattern is there like that. So just in case you're looking and kind of going, that doesn't look familiar. So it's Dakite, D-A-C-I-T-E by Carol Feller. And loads of options for that. Loads of gorgeous colours of Studio Jingle came in through during the week. Yes. So I do want to show you 3 more things, if you'll indulge me. Have I got? Yes, Deirdre, I do. That's one of the things. Deirdre's saying, do I have my Zoetic here? And I do, and I'm going to show you now. More tea. Okay, Zoetic. Okay, it's here. It's my lovely round yoke, super long sleeved detail. Now, the long sleeve thing is just the best in the world when I'm sitting at home typing, and your hands get freezing and you can just pull it all the way down there and just use that. So basically a super simple top down round yoke sweater with these details here of herringbone stitch at the neck and at the bottom of the sleeves. The bottom rib is just a simple 1x1 rib. I might have made a twisted rib actually. So knit into the back of the knit stitch. You do 2 strands of a sock yarn or a 4-ply yarn held together of the same colour for the cuffs and the bottom part of the sleeves, and for this. Oh my god. Neckline? No. Wow. I've forgotten the name of this part of a sweater. Okay, someone help me out with that. And this part. Then you switch and you go into using one strand of your original yarn held together with another 4-ply and a lace weighty or a mohair or a fluffy alpaca blend. So you're actually using 3 strands together, and I'm hoping you can see a bit of sparkle there because I use the Magnolia from Cranra, which has a nice bit of sparkle in. And I'm going to show you the 3 yarns separately. She says confidently. 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Original swatch. Ullen Socklight in Field, which is where my edges were. And Fade Street 4-ply in Trench, mixed then with the Cranra's Magnolia that has the bit of glitter in it. So those 3 together ended up looking like this. Very pretty. And yeah, maybe got me a super cozy sweater for working from home, which I love. So that's Tiffany Lynn. She does a lot of herringbone detail in her designs. Make sure to check her stuff out. It's super fun to do. I would say that follow in the pattern. She gives a tip, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it. But when you're doing the herringbone stitch, to have a smaller needle on, because this is where the interchangeables come into play. Have a smaller tip on your left hand, on your left hand needle, and use it's an 8mm for the edging in your right hand. But having the smaller tip makes it super, way easier to get into the stitches because you're doing a lot of kind of manipulation of the stitches to get the herringbone. How much yarn did I use, Deirdre? I used. I only just had to go into the 3rd skein of Field, so you can see that's basically a full cake of Ullen Socklight. So it ended up being 3 of this, 2 of the Fade Street, and it could have been 4 of the Magnolia. So it's not a cheap jumper, but it's gorgeous, and I'm just gonna wear the death out of it. So wear it to death. Godness. So you just learned herringbone for socks. Yeah, it is really nice. It's fun to do. So that was fun. And then because I had so many leftovers, this just keeps going and going. Because I had so many leftovers, I started, and because it's I've done holding 2 strands together before for projects, but I haven't gone on and kind of added more. And it started me thinking about this. You can essentially create the yarn you want to have, right? So if you are comfortable enough with knitting 2 strands together, you can knit 3, you can knit 4, you can knit 5. And you can do that with the pick and mix. I ended up getting pick and mix versions of yarns in, right? So these are the ones, you can see the colors are very me. These ones are the new ones from Cranra wool, Cranra Soul wool, and they have cobweb lace that comes in loads of colours, and Stellaris, which has maybe half or a third as many colours. I'm just looking over there at the shelf, but a lot of them that tone in and work really well with the cobweb lace. The sparkly yarn is soft, not scratchy. It's got it's sort of light and lovely. So nice to work with. Doesn't kind of braid your hands or anything like that, because some sparkly stuff would do that. And I started playing with it. So I dropped the yarn on the trench in the Fade Street, and so it's kind of, hoping you can see it. It's just gotten toned all of this down into a more consistent olivey green. So it's a small thin fibre. You can see it is plied. Trying to give you an impression of it. So it's a 2-ply, but still super, super, super fine. So it's just one strand of that held with the Fade Street and one strand of this, the super fine glittery stuff. So I've essentially just sort of made my own new yarn, which I love. So I'm going to swatch on just to see more. So I mixed it with, I'm only gone on to the Manastrale there, and I'm going to try it with the Ullen Socklight and Field as well, and just see what those two strands together do to the overall thing. It's a subtle effect, but what I think you can do is sometimes you find a yarn that you quite like, but it's not quite right. So you'd say something like, gosh, if only it was a little bit grayer in tone, or if only it had, you know, a lift to it or something, that you could then just pick out one of these guys and you could hold, if you don't want to go sparkle. I think sparkle's for all year round. Some people are just for Christmas, but that's okay. You can wind off like more of this and hold it like 2 strands or 3 strands together to kind of build the yarn that you want. That's kind of where I think this wins. So have a look at it. That's Kremke, Kremke. If you want to search that on the website, then you'll see some of those ones. Okay, I got some questions. Let's see. People saying hello. Thank you for joining us. That's lovely. Somebody said, is it kid silk? I think you were asking about the Camarose, and it's not. It's an alpaca based floof, so no mohair in there. Thank you, Mia. It's nice to get on and have the chats with people. Oh, hang on, things are beeping. Go away. Is it kid silk? What does the Stellaris feel like? Yeah, like I said, it's not scratchy, which is wonderful. How do you keep the yarns from twisting into each other when you have 2 or 3 together? Okay, see you later, Fairly Fiber. You enjoyed watching. It was nice to have you with us. I basically, well, they behave pretty well. Sorry, my screen is doing something weird and I just want it to go away now. Okay, yeah, great. I had to just type something to make it stop doing that. How do I stop them from kind of twisting around each other? I use a bag. Like, you can put them in like individual little Ziploc bags with the zip part just opened a little bit, just enough to feed it out. These are kind of behaving themselves quite nicely though, because they're on these mini cones, so they're not like a donut ball. Sometimes they kind of collapse in on themselves and you get into some trouble. But yeah, it just seems to run nicely off. You could, if you wanted to get very clever, and just thinking about this, if you had like a dowel or something that would fit into that, you could stand it up and run it off. Maybe that's just, if you've got somebody handy like that around your house, that's a good option. But I literally just have it sitting in a bag at my feet and I'm just running them all off. The tangling, when you're knitting like 2, 3, 4 strands together, tangling isn't so much of an issue as when you're doing stranded colour work and you really do want them to kind of behave themselves and keep separated. So definitely the little Ziploc bags is one of those ways to do that. Mixing yarns, yeah, I think it's a cool thing. Like, there's so many great marled projects out there at the moment that I just think it's taking that idea but like a little bit further, and just kind of the ability to customize your own yarn is good fun. Someone else said, when do you think you'll have the kits from Magnolia Chunkies? So we have the Camarose yarn is on the way to us at the moment. The problem is that if it's coming through the UK, it might take a little bit longer to get to us, unfortunately. So it's just very hard to tell. I did try tracking it today, and it hasn't left the Netherlands. Oh no, Denmark. Yeah, it hasn't left Denmark yet. But I'm hopeful. For a smooth transition. Yeah, we ordered a good bit of stuff from UK suppliers that we wanted to get, and maybe should have done more of the European suppliers as well before Christmas, because I think between kind of COVID shutdowns and different things, but definitely Brexit, it's caused a few issues. Rico, I know we're very low on stock on Rico, and people are looking for the soft merino iron and things like that. So hopefully that's on its way to us now from Monday. But there's lots of other things to be getting on with, and lots of ideas, hopefully, for other projects in the meantime. Okay, so I think, oh yeah, no, I did say 3 things, wasn't it? Yeah, I'll show this last thing and then we'll probably wrap up in case you have any more questions. What yarn is your cardi? My cardi is Soft Donegal. So it's this one here. So Studio, I can't talk today. Studio Donegal, Soft Donegal, which is their 100% merino wool tweed. It's like Aran worsted weight. They call for 4.5mm needles on the label, and it is soft and cozy and lovely. So it's made up in Kilcar. Wandering Block. What is Wandering Block? Someone asked to see the jingle. Thanks, Joy. Hi, Joy. So yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm so screens. They'll kill me. I've made such a mess in the shop today. I'm going to have to spend the next hour tidying it up. The jingle again. Let me take it off and let me see. Oops, daisy. Okay, a little bit more. So that is the jingle yoke, which was knit with this yarn here, mixed with this yarn here, which is Walcott Yarn Opus, an absolutely gorgeous blend of baby alpaca and merino wool, and just cuddliest thing imaginable. So it was one skein, only one skein to do the whole colour work here, and 3 skeins of the opal, and it's just really gorgeous. Oh yeah, Pearl Strings by Heidi Kiermaier. Sorry, I missed that question as well. Thanks, Mum. Great when you got your crew on to help you out. How much does the Donegal cost? The Donegal, I should know this. It's $11.95 for 100 grams. So, and I think this takes like 5 or maximum 6. I think. Usually there's a tag on them somewhere so I can be reminded, but I don't see it there. So that is, as I said, Jingle sweater by Isabel Kramer, but it's intended to be knit in 4-ply yarn. Jackie, because she's a whiz, just made it out of sport weight and made changes as she went. Do you sell the pattern for Jingle? We can do that for you because we have a yarn shop account with Ravelry. So if you don't have your own PayPal, for going on to Ravelry and finding the pattern, you can download a PDF there direct if you want to do that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Ravelry or anything like that, then you just send us a message and we'll get you sorted out. We can buy it on your behalf and send it out to you. So that is that. So gorgeous, and not just for Christmas either. Oh, you're going to do Yaku and Kremka. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, because let me see. The Kremka is classified as sport weight, but I think you're right. I think you could knit it out of 4-ply tension and it would be good. So I would be very keen to see how that works out. Thank you, Joy. In fact, you might end up needing more than one then for the yoke, would you? Because you've been knitting it at the tighter tension. But we will keep you updated, folks. I will ask Joy to leave me her projects so I can tell you about them the next time. Wonderful. Okay. Last thing. Quiet here in the center. It's crazy. I like to be talking instead of I don't know. So because I was showing you the Cranra scarf earlier on by Emer, I wanted to show you again the Irish linen project bag that we have from 29 Bride Street, which is inspired by the beautiful scarf, and it's all made locally with 100% Irish linen. This is hand printed tag, so beautiful. Shiny, gorgeous and golden, and it has some lovely little pockets inside. It's very hard to do this without assistance, but you've got your pockets the size for your circular needles, for your accessories, a little one for patterns, and it's a little drawstring closure like this. You can then tuck in and carry your projects. So carry your projects out of your house when we're allowed to go again. Lockdown fun. And then, okay, bye Belgium. Bye. Thanks for joining us, Isabel. And yeah, it is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? We like that. So there was that I want to show you. And a very last thing before I go, because we're about to run out of time, is there's a few things that have been added to the clearance section of the website. And because we've been talking so much about colour melty yarns, colour melty, there's, oops, Peterbrook Farm has been added into there as well. So this is another one of those yarns that the colours gradually change as you work through it. So if you want to just pop on over and grab a bargain, there's a couple of schemes of that have been reduced. And a few other, like a couple of books, a few bits that we have some last, and odds and ends of that you might want to grab for some accessories. Okay. Thanks for great ideas. Oh, Finland. Oh my goodness. God, I wish we could go. This time last year, we were in New York. We were over in New York having an absolutely wonderful time at BKL, and it was brilliant. So I'm actually really glad that we got to go before, or that we had some travel kind of immediately before all of this kicked off, because it just hasn't been too long. But yeah, hopefully we can get back to New York next year and to see, and I know that guys from Finland and Belgium and the States and South America can come and see us. Pom Pom Quarterly. We haven't been stocking the magazines for the last little while. We've been stocking their books. But again, if enough people want them, let us know. We'll sort that out. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I am going to go take some more pictures of some bits and pieces that I want to share over the course of the week. And yeah, keep messaging us. The next time I'm going to do one of these lives, I'll do the same thing. I'll pop up a little sticker on the stories, just to say, so you can ask me your questions in advance and I can have stuff prepared to show you. So hopefully we will see you roughly this time next week. And thanks again to everybody for coming along. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.